No tack. Yay! Good morning!
Good morning. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
Doing a Picard tug. The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca. We got that backwards.
We did.
But she started, so I just tried to go with it. Hi, how are you doing? I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in sunny and mild and going to be a very nice day, apparently, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
My latest finish, I had to stand up to show it off, and I have all these things here to kind of finish off the month, because it's the last day of Finish It or Frog It February, woo! And this keeps riding up, so I keep pulling it down. I finished the knitting. I feel like it's curling here. Who's seen my tips and tricks on We Are Our Own Worst Critic? I finished my Ready Set Raglan. I have not blocked it, but I have sewn all the ends in. I went to the dentist yesterday only having the ends that would show sewn in. But I did the split hem for the first time with it being a little longer in the back. I'll move my hand.
It looks good.
Than in the
like
front.
It.
But if I've been out all day doing things and it rides up a little bit. Just walking from the car, it rode up a little bit. But, I'm so happy with it. This is in Cascade Friday Harbor. I think it was Jeff who was wondering what this is I applied the collar. Again, I have not blocked this. But I'm loving how it feels, and I'm trying not to stare at this right here. But my body also does a little bloop down there, too. So, get the chair back in. Hello. Every time I say that, I want to go, my name is Anika. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Okay. So, we are going to update you on our weekends and activities, and then if there's time, maybe recap a little of the Finish It or Frog It or everything. I'm going to move this a little.
I have
no idea.
I have project 2 that are done that I kind of showed off-ish on Thursday.
Ooh, I want to...
But, and then I have 2 more that I've worked on this weekend.
While we're talking, my last frog of the month, I think I actually already put on the... because once we get over to me, I'm not going to be frogging this, so I'm going to frog it while you're talking. But I'm just going to let people know what I'm frogging really fast. This is my Rosa Canina that was made from an almost done with Feederbrook Farms Entropy DK color changing yarn. I really want to, it was kind of an experiment to see how cables show up in color changing yarn. And they kind of do and they kind of don't. And I've had a handful of people tell me not to frog this. But it's really soft and lovely. And I want to use it in the cardigan I'm going to make for the spring knit along. So, I'm going to pull it off. And skein 3 started right here of the 3 skeins. So, I am going to start frogging this. I'm already hot in the sweater. I just have to make a statement.
It's warm today.
It's warm today. So, and this feels warmer than some of my bulky ones that are lightweight bulky, breathable bulky. So, I am doing my last frog of the month. I am taking this off of needles, and I will start pulling it out. But that will just be a little side distraction to Liz talking about the amazing things that she's doing. So, I will let Liz talk.
Last week, I got sleeves done on my second thistle sweater. And
so is that considered done now?
It's done. Well, ends aren't woven in, but me and ends. So
well, for me it's blocking, and I have other things that ends aren't woven in.
I'm looking at the color work, and I don't think I need to block it. It kind of blocks with wear, and my little hem always flips up, but I don't care. So anyway, sleeves are done. They're straight sleeves until I got to the end, and I just basically decreased half of the stitches, and then a little tiny band on the end for the cuff.
Well, and we were joking that you weren't going to do Finish It or Frog It February.
I wasn't.
And then you finish stuff.
And then this one I actually wove in the ends too. I got my textured striped sweater all done, and I wore it on
the weekend, right?
Saturday, because it was so cold.
It was cold.
So it's all finished, and it has straight sleeves with the little cuff at the end that kind of balloons in. And so, yay!
Yay!
Ends are done on this one as well, so. And then,
She's like the sweater queen.
I was supposed to put this on needle sweat.
No, I have to grab that in a minute. Because it's part of my finish it parade. But keep going. Keep going.
I was planning on putting this, like the sleeves on needles at the same time that I did my striped and thistle one. This is my Firefly ranunculus. And the sleeves are attached. So we'll turn it around. So the sleeves, and I worked on it this weekend a little bit. No, we watched a movie and I couldn't do complicated knitting, which
Was it a movie you actually had to pay attention to?
Yeah. Well, it was a new movie and nobody had given me spoilers and I was, so like, it was funny. But I figured out that if I put my yarn balls in front of me in a box, they could swivel around and I could actually knit while I was watching the movie. But I couldn't have the yarn balls in my lap because then they started rolling and I couldn't pay attention to the movie and the yarn. So
personal issues.
Yes. But I got this much done on the sleeves. So they're just about halfway, maybe a little over halfway done on my Firefly ranunculus. That
is so pretty. So. And so that's, did you mention what yarn you use for that?
The yarn is Firefly by Daydream Dye Works.
Which is why it's your Firefly
Which is why it's my Firefly. I wanted it to look like fireflies settling into woods. And then the green is Sugarbush Rapture.
And both are yarns we don't have at the shop. Yeah. So they're gorgeous, and no, we can't sell you any.
It's the downside of work at a yarn shop. Buy yarn. Oh, you're making projects with yarn we don't have anymore because you bought it all. Almost.
Well, that's a Bogarting problem. That's a Liz Bogarting problem. But yeah. So, and the piece de resistance.
Yes. So
that. Oh my gosh! You just started that.
Last weekend, I had to wait until Tuesday to get the gold, but I wanted to make the Steinkriger, Steinkreger. Steinkriger. It's Stone Warrior.
Send me the link after
I will.
This.
Anyway, it's supposed to be done in oatmeal and like blues or browns and grays. And
so look like waves and stuff, right?
The bottom is supposed to look like waves.
Here. This is, your ends are all...
My ends are, of course,
I'm going to tuck your ends in because that's so pretty.
So I finished the color work.
You're on the microphone cord. Not that it matters.
I finished the color work yesterday, last evening, and I managed to get to sleeve separation. So
that's gorgeous.
I tried it on.
It looks so good on camera, too.
I know.
Be careful, that's all.
Oops.
I'll be quiet.
You're fine. I tried it on after I got to sleeve separation, or where I should be doing sleeve separation, because it's supposed to be a bottom-up sweater. And I'm doing it top down.
Didn't someone last week, they're like, what is she making?
Yes.
And it's like,
I'm doing it top down, which means there was a whole lot more math. And some of it's, hey, pretty easy. And some of it was like, I've got to call a friend and ask if
phone a friend.
Just happened to be a night we were both tired.
That?
And
we figured it out.
We did. And so I also completely changed up all the colors because it was, supposed to be 3 shades of the same color on a background. And anyway, but I got to sleeve separation and I was like, this is going to be a little tight. And so I did 4.
That's right. You were gonna math the sleeve separation.
Well, so because I'm doing it upside down, I had to figure out where the short rows were and then reverse the short rows upside down because she has them for bottom up and I was going top down. So that wasn't difficult.
Yeah, I feel like you might be able to kind of do the same thing-ish in a way.
Yeah, I just reversed the order that she had and I figured out where the sleeves went and everything. And before I did sleeve separation, I tried it on because I was like, I should try it on since that's why I'm going top down. And it felt just a little bit tight. So I did 4 rows.
Did you some raglan increases?
I did raglan increases every row for 4 rows, just so it's super fast.
And There's a lot of top down like yoke all over increase type sweaters like this that do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you were basing it on that or if it was just like organic.
Well, like the ranunculus has so many rows of every other row. Do a increase
Oh, that's
row
right.
and
And
set,
then they do the
and then do a few rows of super fast, intense. Every row increases, and so I just wanted like 8 more stitches for the front and back, and for the sleeves, and so I just did them 4 rows, and I tried it on, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm having like that."
problems.
So
yeah, it looks super super pretty.
So
I like it.
It's my happy place, and I'm going to have it done before winter comes back. So.
You mean not before next winter, but
no, before winter comes back.
When is because we're gonna be in the 60s today here, according
70s.
To my watch.
60s, 70s,
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I was checking my watch at home where it's higher elevation, and down here in the city, the glorious big
the
bustling city, the town of Brevard, it's gonna be. I can't wait for this to be in my cardigan with a neutral, cream colored contrast. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, I might not be wearing the sweater I'm currently in all day. Probably not. But all right. So, anything else?
No.
No?
You were talking about winter. Winter's coming back like next weekend. It's going to be back in the 50s and 30s, and then
last week. Oh my gosh.
Winter could be back middle of March.
Last week we had some. It was supposed to be in the 50s, 60s, and then the wind was blowing, and oh my gosh, we were unprepared.
It was supposed to warm up to 60 on Saturday, and we got up to like 55, but it took all day. Like, that was after we got home. It was so cold.
It was not cool.
No.
It was did that. Oh, my watch thinks I'm doing an elliptical workout.
Yeah.
I'm going to dismiss. I should have muted it for the day. It might try to tell me again. No, we still think you're... So this is an elliptical workout. Not swimming. Sometimes knitting, it will think I'm swimming. And then it will waterlock the watch, and that's a whole nother joy. But that will make people around me go, what? When I unlock it. But, okay. So I think I'm done with how much of the frogging of this I'm going to get. But this is how much of my second ball. I mean, I didn't frog this whole thing. I got the last bit off of this. This is now smaller than it was when I started. That's just having it heard and recognized. So I finished this weekend. Did I show this one off on camera already? I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of going backwards. Let me show you what else I finished this weekend. And then I have my finish it or frog it list from the internet. Like if you go to sundragonartandfiber.com/FIOFIF, you'll see I'm writing it all in. But we showed that I finished this.
Yes.
Did we? Okay. No.
You were working on it.
I was almost done with it.
Yeah.
I finally lost at Yarn Chicken on this. I mean, I won at this stripe of Yarn Chicken, and then the next stripe there I lost, but I got as many rows out as I could. So this is how big of a shawl with crochet, G and H hooks, because I think I changed mid shawl and you can't really tell. 3 skeins of fingering weight yardage got me. It was a sport weight with fingering weight yardage, fluffy Plymouth Hearthstone. 3 skeins of it got me this big of a shawl, and that's pretty big. I am not blocking this. I don't think I need to.
I don't think you need to.
I still need to weave in all my ends, but this is another finish. Isn't it beautiful? So what I'm wearing, 1, this shawl is 2. If we count, so the Rebel Squirrels finally finished is 3 things I finished up. Did not start, but finished up this month. The sockhead hat that I sent to my nephew is 4. The crocheted blanket that I donated is 5. And then a really quick finish last night. This has been sitting on needles at home. This is the, what is it? The Yana XL from Amano. It's like a jumbo yarn. And one skein, I wanted to show things you could do with one skein, and we got these new colors in. So this is, I kind of made up this pattern. It is just a braided cable with a couple of stitches on either side that I did to like help it stay flat. I knit every stitch on the outside edge, depending on the row. They're both knit. The inside edge, just on either side of this braid cable, was done to be a purl on the right side, on the outside. And I got enough to get a little cowl out of it. Ta-da!
It looks cute.
It was sitting on needles for the longest time because it was fun, but it was like, I sewed here. I probably should have done one fewer row before sewing there. This is like the customer who came in and said that it looks funny. I really think she got off on her center cable because she's like, but the cables on the sides, they'd be off too. No, they cabled at different times, and I've done that with my other sweater. If you lose track of what row you're on the cable, the middle cable has 8 and the side ones go like every row. It can happen. So it looks a little bit stretched and gappy right in here, but I sewed it in a way that pretty much masks. It's not a true Kitchener, but I had one set of live stitches and one set of cast on. So that's what that looked like. So I've already lost count, but I think I've finished about 10 things this month, which is really cool. The other 2 things I pulled out and finished because they're going to be our in-person classes next month. I finished. This is the Glen Eyre scarf. It is crocheted. It's a simple, easy, repeated. Every row is repeated, so it's reversible technique. I haven't sewn the ends in the middle, but I used 3 skeins of Juniper Moon La Pampa, and I like the length.
I do too.
I don't think, like, hers was like, go for 200 rows, and I just went till I had the length I liked. And actually what I did, because I like the idea of a little bit of fringe, this is the fringe following the instructions in the pattern. When I got to my 3rd skein, I cut off the fringe amounts first. And then I finished the scarf with what was left. And I actually yarn chickened, so the end of the last row, I had just enough to, like, add into the fringe. Like, I haven't trimmed the fringe yet, so they're a little ragged and uneven. But the beginning tail and the end tail are in the fringe, so that's 2 fewer ends to weave in. I still have to weave in the ends for when I change skeins. But this is just shy of 450 yards. Because each skein probably had about 140 yards. So it's more like 420 yards or something like that. But I think this is super cute. It will be one class on March 25th. So contact us if you want to learn how to do this. I think in one class you can get the basic gist and be okay. And if you need to come back for help with the fringe. See, there's some of my ends. Ba-doo. So that one. And then this guy's been sitting either on or off needles. Ooh, excuse me. That's a bra strap right there. My bra straps slide around a lot. This is my entrelac scarf.
That looks so cool.
And I finally finished this. And I yarn chickened. I have the final squares. Hang on. I had to pick when I wanted to do the final squares. Because there's an end row. After there's 2 tiers to this, and then you have to pick an end row. I had this much of a ball of Vita left, so I think I chose wisely. So entrelac is super fun because it looks like, this is just the entrelac scarf by Freckles and Pearls, and it looks like you have woven all these strands of things together, and you're building as you go. So if you pick a color changing yarn.
I had a new knitter,
like, this is the back,
in the shop last week or the week before when this was still up, who was like, that's woven. And I said, no, you pick up stitches. And they were like, what? I'm like, it's all one piece. You build it as you go, almost kind of modularly. And the back almost makes it look like you sewed all these little squares together, but you don't. So you don't have a billion ends to weave in, especially if you pick one color changing yarn. Like, you can see the color repeats in this that were happening,
but they shifted ever so slightly, so it's not like you get exactly the same repetition. The blocks fall in slightly different places. And that gets changed by your gauge. So, and if I block this, it will lie a little flatter.
And be just a little longer.
Probably I can get a little more length out of it, but I like this length too. So, da-da. The class for this, I'm going to do it over the 2 Saturdays back to back. So we can, if we don't get very far on the first Saturday, we're going to see you in a week to keep going and keep building the skills. And that is going to be March 11th and 18th. So contact the shop if you're interested in any of those. I have ends. I have 2 little ends to weave in that I have not woven in yet. But I think that's all of my finishes. There's 2 more sweaters because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The socket hat and the blanket I donated, that would be 7, 8. And y'all remember, since I'm hot, I'll just take this off. But I'll put this.
That's 9.
That one I'm about to put on is 9.
And that's 10.
No. I counted this one. I pointed at myself while I was counting, but we can count again. But that's 10.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, as I fiddle with my bra straps. So, Reluctant Homeschooler. Oh, this feels so light and fluffy compared to the other sweater, but they're both wonderful sweaters for different reasons. So, this one is Barocco Wizard. Oh, that's what dropped down. It's so light and fluffy. I will probably wear this today if I get too hot in the other one. If I get too hot in this, I keep little pieces in the corner. So, and my first finish that wasn't something I donated or gave away is another sweater. So I got 3 sweaters done this month. I don't want to cover up your face, Liz. This one, my Lara Pullover. And I was showing someone because they were getting this color this weekend in the shop. It's gotten so fuzzy and pilly. Not so, but a little, and that's just, it's such a soft yarn. It is going to pill. I've had multiple conversations with people this week alone about how a soft yarn will pill. It does not mean it is a bad yarn. I mean, cheap bad yarns will pill too. But if something is soft, it is going to pill. Like you need either a slicker or a tighter spin on something to not have it pill. And then you might have other issues.
And even then, you're going to need plastic tubing because even T-shirts pill.
So the Lara Pullover has this lovely lace work in it. And at some point, I will start figuring out how much a sweater comb will work on this. I think I have to be really gentle
I think
if I use a sweater comb. Yeah. I mean, the structural integrity of this is a lot better than you'd think. So, for how fuzzy, and just soft and loose the yarn is in the ball, it's kind of awesome. So, this is Juniper Moon Farm Mallow. I'm trying to keep all the names straight of all the things, but this is number 10. So, I don't know if she's coming to give us stuff. The mail lady. So, Liz will go get the mail lady while I show you other things really, really, really quickly that I worked on. Actually, other things that I pledged to finish, I may actually hold off on that. So we have time to get ready and for the shop to open. But I'm looking at it here. I wanted to finish a pair of socks and I didn't. So I will check in with y'all on Thursday to see where I'm at with those socks. But I have, 2 or 3 more things to show off that are works in progress that I pledged to finish later on. But I want to do a recap and not be super rushed on all of this. Yeah. I want to do a recap on how many things I frogged and bound off and finished and other things like that. I will say, to go over numbers and things. By the way, we have virtual sit and stitch tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. And you can get into Zoom with the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
There we go. I frogged. So I ended up frogging. I'm looking at this. like a dozen things, I think. This yarn that we don't have in the shop anymore, I was doing the 1-row scarf. It's kind of a yarn over, knit 2 together, every single row, funkiness. But I wasn't going to finish it. I hadn't picked it up in a really long time, and this yarn is no longer in the shop, so I frogged it. That goes in the frogging pile. Let's see. I had counted before and I've forgotten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I frogged 12 things. Some of those I wanted the yarn for other things. Some of those I might try the pattern again with a different yarn. So I frogged a dozen things. I bound off one more thing this weekend. This is the Close to You shawl that I started. And I started it with a yarn that was dyed specifically for the shop that had like half black and half fiery colors by Twist Fiber Studio. But we don't have any fingering weight of this left in the shop. We have a little DK, so I didn't completely abandon it, but it was showing what would happen as the thickness of this changed, the overlap and pooling on this change, which was kind of cool, but let's be honest, I wasn't going to finish it. Partially because of, like, I was kind of liking, but kind of not how the colors were coming out, and it's an asymmetrical triangle shawl, and I'm at the point where there's very few of those I really like.
Start a lot of them, and then
I don't finish them.
Yeah.
And we try to have some in the... sometimes I push through because other people will like them, but I personally am not the biggest fan. It doesn't mean they're bad. It just means I am not the biggest fan. So bound off, and I put that on the list already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 things that I bound off. So that is 19 altogether resolved in those categories. We already went over that I finished 10 things. So that is 39, right? No, 29. 29. Almost 30 things that I resolved in some way. Frogged, finished, or bound off for the shop. That's 30 things I had on needles. This is fascinating for like the total, right? And the currently on needles and hook, I think I counted that this morning. I have 19 things on the list that I pledged to finish. And I have at least 6 more things I haven't put on that list yet. I will try to get them up tonight to really catalog everything that was on needles this month when I started the month. So that's about 25. So 30 things resolved, 25 things still going. And when March hits, I'm going to start some new projects. Because I've resolved over half my projects, though, that I had on needles. If you think about it that way, I had, 55? Roughly 55 things on needles or starting or going. And I have taken care of just about 30 of them. I've taken care of over half of them. That is super exciting. And I definitely want to make this a yearly tradition. Other people have raised it, and I want to say I was already thinking about it when they raised it, but I can give them credit too. Shout out to Carol. I was already planning on it, but, if other people think it's a good idea, it's been like a spring cleaning almost, but it's February. So it's a fake spring cleaning.
It's not spring yet.
But the cleaning is not fake. So, I already have plans for some of the frogged yarn. Other parts of the frogged yarns are going to probably go in Minion Bags of Mystery, which means you could get a sample if you buy a $10 Minion Bag of Mystery. You could get a sample of yarn that maybe isn't in the shop anymore, but it was fun. And you could get a sample of something I've worked with. If that is exciting for you. It might not be. It's okay. So I'm going to try to update everything. I will either on Thursday or next Tuesday fill you in on some stuff that I did make a little bit of progress on this week. But I don't think there's time to talk about today because we were reviewing all of this stuff. So... anyway, join us tonight or Friday night for virtual sit and stitch if you'd like. If you haven't considered subscribing to the channel, please do that because we are over 1,400. We are just a little more than 90 people away from another YouTube-only sale. When we hit 1,500 subscribers, we will have a YouTube-only sale. So only you all get a special code. We do that every once in a while. There's been a lot of them lately.
Yeah.
But that's because things are happening all at the same time.
And...
anniversaries and and
Episodes.
episodes, and they're all happening right around the same time. The subscriber one is one that is really generated by y'all. So if you're watching and haven't subscribed, there's no fee to subscribe. So feel free to sign up. At some point, we'll have memberships on this channel, which does include a fee. I haven't figured out what the rewards will be for that. It'd at least be your name in the credits at the end here. If you'd like to get your name in the credits as a sponsor and supporter of us, as a patron, you can go to patreon.com/sundragon. Every little bit helps us keep the shop going, because we've been saying, like, you'd think, like, a lot of people go, oh, the winter must be so busy for y'all because it's cold, so everyone's knitting. I'm like, not really. January and February, a little slow.
Yeah.
We're still here. We're still loving it. We're still doing stuff. I'm so excited to start new projects tomorrow. What am I going to put on sale?
She's kind of been itching.
I have at least one sweater I'm going to do that isn't something someone at the shop could buy. So that's probably only going to be over my personal page. But I really want to start it soon. Not tonight. No, it's not March yet. But soon. Enough. Well, I'm still itching to try to get these socks at least almost done, if not done. Although 10 is such a nice round number to stop at for finished projects. Look at her. I've really wanted to finish a pair of socks.
Start it.
Oh my gosh. I will update you more on ongoing projects either Thursday or Tuesday. We will see. And next week we will start talking about gearing up for shifting gears to the spring knit-along, make-along. It's a knit-along this time, but it's the make-along. It's not officially starting until April, but we have a month to get ready. So, all right, we got to go.
Yeah.
I was going to give us time to open the shop, and now it's time to open the shop. So, bye!
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff.